Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, November 7. This is a meeting of the Council Rock Board of School Directors Facilities Committee. I'm chairing this evening Ed Tate School Board, and we'll go around the table with introductions. To my right, Mr. Hickey, please.
Bob Hickey, School Board.
Ann Horner, School Board.
Joe Hidalgo, School Board.
Andy Sanko, Superintendent.
Tony Rapp, Director of Business Administration.
Jessica Binda, Supervisor of Facilities.
Andrea Mangold, Director of District Communications.
Michael Roosevelt, School Board.
Yota Pali, School Board.
Nicole Khan, School Board.
Matthew McCarthy, Tech Integration.
Thanks, everybody. We will start with our Director of Facilities. Close enough? No, correct me, please.
Supervisor, it's okay.
Supervisor.
Okay, as a reminder that for the most accurate and reliable information concerning our district, please refer to resources, websites, and social media platforms managed by the Council Rock School District. We advise the community to exercise caution when relying on the accuracy of social media and ask the community to verify any social media content with the district for accuracy. If you question what you are seeing, need a fact check or additional details on a matter, please reach out to the district directly. Our contact information is readily available on our website at crsd.org. Agenda items for this evening include the Capital Improvements Professional Services RFP, Richboro Elementary School Moving Services, Wrightstown Elementary School Operation and Maintenance for the spray fields, the Richboro Elementary School fiber installation, facilities master plan update, and the Richboro Elementary School gas piping update. For the first item, I'm going to hand it over to Tony.
Thank you, Jess. Good evening, everyone. We're going to talk about the request for proposals that went out for capital improvements professional services. This is for construction management and design for our summer projects, we call them, which is the maintenance upkeep building work that we do every summer. We usually budget about $6 million for these projects. There's usually about 5 or 6 projects. We're going out to bid. We went out to RFP for a 5-year contract. I just want to start off with the difference between an RFP and a request for bids. Is an RFP is what you do, is called request for proposals when it's a service rather than a commodity. When we purchase a commodity, we ask for bids and we're required to take the lowest bid from the lowest responsible bidder. For an RFP, such as when we purchased, when we brought in a new food service company, that's where you are allowed to evaluate each vendor on more than just the cost. So you don't have to go with the lowest cost in those cases, but and you are allowed to negotiate with low bidders to get a better price. We went out to bid and we received 5 bids from 5 different companies. We reviewed the bids and scored them on an objective scale. The two highest companies, we evaluated their proposals and brought them in for interviews. When we met with each company, one company did have a better price than the other company. CHA was, which was Dewey, was one of the companies, and the company that had the better price on their request for proposals was Barry Isett and Associates. We interviewed both vendors, and when we met with Barry Isett company, we found that the prices that were offered were basically a guide, and if we were to whenever we had projects, they wanted to negotiate the actual prices that they charge us. When our RFP did call for specific prices for the work over the next 5 years. We did feel that that there were good things about the Barry Isett company, and we were seriously considering them. When we found that out, it kind of, you know, we weren't getting a firm price, and so we couldn't, with any sort of accuracy, predict what it would cost us over the next 5 years for these services. The other three vendors either were higher or two of them didn't meet the requirements of the RFP. There were things that were missing, or not missing, but it was more along the lines of the same thing, but it was more obvious that it was related to, you know, estimate of cost rather than actual cost. And then one vendor was particularly, it didn't seem to understand the request for proposals that we had submitted. So after we met with both companies, we determined that we would like to recommend CHA as our vendor for this. And again, that is Dewey. They do have experience with the district. We did want to go out to bid to see what else was out for proposals, to see what else was out there. And we found that CHA was the best proposal that we received. Prior to making this recommendation, I did contact CHA, and they had offered us a price of up to $100,000, a $4,000 base fee, 8% construction cost design, and 4% administration, between $100,001 and $599,000. They had offered a base fee of $2,500, and the same percentages, 8% for design, 4% for administration, and over $600,000, no base fee, but 7% design and 3% administration. I went back to CHA and I asked them to give us a better offer for their costs, and they came back and their new offer was up to $100,000, the $4,000 base fee, and 7% for both design and administration, between $100,001 and $599,999, a $2,500 base fee, and 7% for total for design and administration, and over $600,000, just 7% of our construction costs. So we ended up, after that negotiation, we ended up with a better fee than anyone else was offering with the vendor that was offering us the most experience with us, and probably and the best proposal. So we're recommending that we use CHA and enter into a 5-year contract with them for construction administration for our summer projects.
Mr. Dowdle.
Why a 5-year? Is it typical for us?
It's a long process, and you know, if we're locking in 7% with no increase, that's pretty good considering 5 years from now. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to lock that in.
That's fine, I'm just saying, we haven't had those long-term contracts for summer projects before, or is this something we've done in the past? I don't think so.
We've had 3-year with extensions. So because a lot of our maintenance type bids, we've been extended to 5 years if it made sense, so that we're not coming back repeatedly and getting.
No, that sounds fine.
Increases.
That's fine, I appreciate it, thank you. And then how about the outs? Obviously, there's an out for us.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm fine with locking in for 5 years.
I do want to say one thing. I do have a typo on the slide. The request for proposals were issued on Friday, October 4th, not the 22nd. So it looks like we only had 3 days for proposals to be prepared. It was 3 weeks. That's my typo on the slide.
But my question, there are outs, are there ramifications for saying that we're not going to do it the whole time?
I'm sorry, I don't think I
So let's say
understand.
it's a 5-year contract, but year 3, we're like, what's
We
the
just have a
out?
30-day out,
Yeah, it's just a 30-day out. Yep.
30-day notification, like we normally do.
Say thank you, I'll say thank you now.
That must be blind.
Ms. Chicky.
Yes, first of all, I always appreciate the fact that when you're doing these things, that you're always negotiating, and you seem to always be able to get some concessions from our vendors, which is very nice. I was a little confused when you gave me those first numbers. I think you said in the beginning, it was an 8% construction fee and a 4% administrative
12% total.
total.
Yeah, so it went from, for up to $100,000, it would have been $4,000 and 12%. Now it's $4,000 and 7%. For $100,001 to $599,999 is $2,500 base fee, 7%, it would have been 12%. And over 600,000 would have been 10%, it's 7%.
Okay, yeah, just wanted to make sure. And then the only other question I had is, I don't know if you would know this, is this somewhat consistent with their previous pricing? You know, a little higher, a little less?
It's about the same as
About
the
the same.
previous pricing.
So it's about the same for the past 6 years.
Can't complain about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, guys, appreciate it.
Anyone else?
Quick question. Is this for construction management or is this for design and construction management?
Both,
Both?
yes.
Okay. So they're going to be designing it and then interfacing with the contractors?
Yes.
Will they be selecting the subcontractors? Or is that something that Council
You'll
Rock
be
still?
selecting the.
Okay, so we're still
Yeah,
keeping
yeah,
that?
administrating, as far as that, the definition here would be that they'll collect the proposals, bring them to the board will approve the contractors, and then they'll oversee the contractors as they do the work. There were some other things looking at contracts, you know, CHA is promising, and we know they deliver on it, to have someone on site management-wise every day. Other vendors talked about that would be an additional cost to have vendors on site every day. CHA is promising to meet the timeline. We are a little bit delayed. The other vendors, you know, talked about, they don't know if they could meet the timeline.
Has there or was there any consideration to have a third-party construction administrator who is not connected to design or construction?
We did not consider that.
Just two things real quickly. One is, I think everybody around this table knows it, but for the sake of the public, this is merely for the summer projects, which it's a significant chunk of money, but the next time we do a school, this does not mean Dewey is the engineering firm. We will do each one of those projects on a standalone basis.
Yes, the plan going forward, sorry to interrupt you.
No.
The plan going forward is that every construction project that we do, we will go through this RFP process for construction management. Obviously, design would be another company, and we would go out to bid for that as well.
Right. And the,
Different bids.
yeah, great. And then one other thing is, it's the responsibility of this firm to help us obtain a good range of bids
Yes.
from a number of sources. So that's part of their assignment as well.
And that's a known value we get with CHA, is their network of contractors, thank you, where they, you know, are able to get their information, get our information out to a lot of vendors and get the best price. And, you know, so, you know, I think we've implemented savings on the front end, and we will continue to get savings on the back end.
Well, congratulations to you all for doing this, making this effort, and it's a great result.
Oh, just real quick.
Ms.
I guess, just wanted to confirm that we are late in the timeline, so
Yes,
CHA Dewey said they can,
yes.
since they already have probably some familiarity, they can kind of pick up and already get the ball rolling. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll turn it back over to Chestnut.
Thank you. Richboro Elementary School moving services. We are getting to the point on this project that we're coming to an end. So we received 3 bids on Thursday, October 29th. Scope of work includes moving all teaching materials to the renovated elementary school. We are recommending to award to Hughes Relocation for the amount of $22,100. Hughes Relocation successfully completed moves for both Rolling Hills Elementary and the Star Center.
Mr.
This question actually is for Dr. Sanko. I'd asked you this kind of before, but I guess just to make it public, so that everybody's aware of the situation. This is an unusual move in the sense that we're not moving over the summer, we're moving over the winter break. And, concerns were raised about the timing of such, not so much as it relates to the movers, but as it relates to the teachers and the staff. Whether we're gonna have enough time and how's that. So I'm just hoping that you could, for the public or whoever, maybe some of the personnel there who may not know, which they should, of what that's gonna look like, timeline, and some of the things that are gonna be offered to make this as smooth of a transition as possible without losing any educational time.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Hickey. So the timing is interesting because the move will take place over winter break. It's close to the holidays. We're mindful of that. So we have remained consistent with the template and the process we've done before. When we move teachers and we move the building, teachers are paid for 1 7-hour day. And there's typically a window of time for those folks to be able to move that is outside of what the hired moving companies will do. Knowing where this falls, we have already, Jess and myself, as well as Nicole Crawford, we've stood in front of the staff at Richboro Elementary. We have committed to extending the length of time that teachers could be able to access the new Richboro Elementary School, to include evenings and to include weekends. So however they decide and choose to carve up their 7 hours, they'll get paid for a day, but we will extend the length of time. We certainly don't expect that people will be in there on New Year's Eve moving, but if somebody wants to be there, I'll go open for them. But outside of that, the other thing we have tried to make abundantly clear to the teachers is that when they move into that building, we educationally don't expect that it's going to be perfectly unpacked and organized, like bulletin boards set up, every box unpacked. But we do expect that it's going to be a warm, welcoming place where kids can get in and get comfortable and learn. So again, we're following the same process and template that we've used before. Just given the timing of this, we have committed to extending that time frame to be flexible for people who are going to have family in town or people who are going to be traveling or whatever their needs are.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Steph?
Is there some kind of orientation for the kids and the teachers regarding how the building, is it going to be that different, locating music rooms, bathrooms, whatever?
Yeah, that'll be some of the very first day. Outside of, there will obviously be a formal ribbon cutting or ceremony at some time. But the first day students return to the building, a lot of time will be spent on learning where things are, including fire drill lines, including the music room. But the scheduling and the timing, if you have math now at 10 a.m., you'll have math across the street at Richboro Elementary at 10 a.m. So it will not be an open door like one of our summer meet and greets. The teachers will guide and the principal will guide the kids through the building the first time as they walk in. And when students walk in for the first time, all of our staff will be there to greet them and show them where to go. Okay?
Thanks.
Thanks.
Good. Any more? Oh,
Just related to this, just for everyone's, I think it was discussed that part of the reason this can happen in the timeline is because we're not actually moving all of the furniture and things as well, right?
Yes, we have all new furniture coming, so the first 3 weeks of December will be furniture moving and assembly and just making sure that we have all of this stuff that we need. And then the actual teaching materials is the only thing that's going to be moving. So we'll be moving Friday evening of the 20th, Saturday the 21st, Sunday the 22nd, if we need 24 hours a day. So that come Monday morning, I think that's the 22nd, ABM will come through and do the final cleaning Obviously, there's Christmas through there, so we'll be closed for, probably a whole 2 days. And then they'll be back that, I think, Thursday and Friday to do the final cleaning, and then allow teachers to come in, like Dr. Sanko was saying, on that following Monday and Tuesday, for students then to return Thursday,
Right,
2nd.
thank you.
Can you refresh us with how much the cost was to move presumably the furniture and the supplies across the street the other way?
I have no idea what that is off the top of my head. I can get that number for you. Wayne Moving.
Other questions, comments? We'll get that number.
Momentarily, and
Yeah.
Tony
Well,
Silver.
don't make any promises.
No, no problem. Sir?
That's the whole move, the whole school?
All the teaching material, yes.
Right, seems to be a good price.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the first and second price, they're pretty close to each other, so I think we got very good pricing. Even the third price, isn't too far off, so I think we got,
It just seemed like I remember it being really outrageous last time I seen it.
it was a lot more, because we were moving an entire school worth of furniture and everything.
I see.
It took about, I would say 4 or 5 days to move the entire school of, I'm just gonna say stuff, because there's no better word to encompass everything.
So what happens to the materials we're not moving back?
We're determining that. We're evaluating the needs across the district. And then we're also evaluating what we need to do with the materials that are left behind.
I hate to throw it away, if there's some way you can give it to something, so organization would be great. I know sometimes you can't do that, it's like throwing away food, but anyway. Okay, we'll get there, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
The cost for the original move out was, $48,600.
Wow. Lot less. Okay. Thank you.
Wrightstown Elementary School operation and maintenance for the spray fields. It's a 3-year agreement with Private Utility Enterprises. They're a licensed operator. They are our licensed operator for the Wrightstown Elementary School on-site sewage treatment facility. They manage monthly testing and reporting to the DEP since 2012 without incident. The agreement would be for the first year, it'd be $390 per month, and then year 2 and 3 would be $425 per month. The previous agreement was for $375 per month. So they do all of our testing and reporting to the DEP for Wrightstown.
Questions, comments? None? No?
I do.
Yeah, Ann.
So it's a 3-year agreement, and the previous agreement was 3 years too?
Yes.
But they're just changing pricing.
Yeah, so they sent us a notification. This was one that we didn't, we had a previous agreement, it expired, and they sent us a notice that their rate was increasing. So we said, all right, hold on a second, before you guys increase, let's get another 3-year agreement so we can lock in the price.
Good.
It's basically labor.
Anyone else? No? Okay, thanks.
Next item is the Richboro Elementary School fiber installation. The price from Crown Castle is $49,900. The scope of work includes the installation of new fiber from Upper Holland Road to the new MDF room. New fiber was accounted for in the project budget. So this will connect the NOC to Richboro and provide internet service to Richboro Elementary School.
Was fiber not included in the original construction plan and bid?
It was included in the original plan. So we have, and Matt, hopefully you can Okay, never mind. Okay. So Crown Castle provides our fiber throughout the district. So this was not included in the electrician's budget or bid number. So Crown Castle, we finally got everything situated with them, and this is their cost to provide the fiber based on their contract currently with the district.
Okay, follow-up question. So is this just the line from Upper Holland to the school, but the school currently is wired for fiber? Is that what's kind of happening?
So it's my understanding that it goes from the street into the MDF. From the MDF to, say, your computer, that's all done by the electrician.
Right, okay. And so this is the part that effectively is from the school to the?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
and that wasn't included in the original bid?
It's not included in the electrician's bid. This work typically is not
Yeah,
by the electrician that we Borough Electric, that we have a contract with. This work would be done by the district's, I guess, fiber provider, for lack of a better definition.
But it was in the budget. It
Absolutely,
is in the budget.
yes.
Anyone else? No? Good.
Next item is the facilities master plan update. The final enrollment report is due. We should receive that in the next day or so. And then Cropper GIS is scheduled to report their findings at the November Finance Committee meeting, which is next Thursday. And then also, Tony and I have a meeting for a preliminary report from Schrader Group and CHA on the 19th, so that we can start reviewing their proposal for the solution for the master plan.
I mean, just to be clear, we're meeting with them before the rest of CAT administration is meeting with them just to establish the plan for going forward to finishing up their proposal. So we're not solely sitting there talking about it.
No.
Obviously, Andy and the rest of the cabinet will be involved in this is just getting things set up.
Would you refresh our memories as to the rest of the master plan timeline very briefly?
Yes, so the report from CHA, well, from Schrader and CHA is due in December. And then they will be presenting that to the board at the Facilities Committee in January. They'll be presenting options for us to discuss. So come prepared for the meeting. We're going to try to keep that agenda items light so that we have plenty of time to discuss those items.
Do we have any thought into possibly, we're hearing mathematics, but I guess we'll just leave it as a regular facilities meeting.
What was that?
I was just wondering if we should consider having that separate, but, but I think a regular facilities meeting would be fine. Now that I think about it.
Okay.
We'll keep the agenda light.
Yeah.
So then,
Mr. Hickey?
No, I'll let you finish.
no, I was just
before you
going
go
to
to the
say,
next.
so January is when we'll be discussing options and, going kind of back and forth with discussions on what everybody's idea is. And then I think in February, we'll take the feedback back, work through everything, and then February, hopefully have another either discussion or plan to move forward with the master plan.
Now, this master plan does not include Wrightstown Elementary
It
per
does.
se, like, as far as what we're going to do with the students there. I mean, because you're getting this report from Cropper tomorrow, you said, and
Yeah, so the Cropper is just the enrollment projections.
correct, but enrollment projections equal space in schools equal,
Yes.
what are we gonna do with Wrightstown?
Yes.
I've
So
offered
that's-
up, yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, go ahead.
The master plan will provide solutions for Wrightstown.
Okay, and also, so if I have a possible solution, which I've suggested before, who do I send that to for consideration?
I would think we'd discuss it in January.
I mean,
Well, right, when you said options, I would like to present an option that I don't know is currently gonna be considered. It's kind of, you know.
I'm all ears.
Discussion.
What's
I'm all ears.
All ears, you wanna hear it?
Yeah, say it now.
Okay.
so that it's out.
I mean, then we can.
An option that was proposed to me, which I think has some legs, is to move the entire Wrightstown sixth grade to the Newtown Middle School. It opens up 2 to 3 classrooms, because I believe we still have an issue at Wrightstown now where kids are sharing space and they're in the gym. The kids are kept together, their feeder pattern's the same. And it allows other options as far as how they're getting educated, as far as, like I said, it just offers some different options, obviously to be discussed, but this is something that somebody threw out at me. I'm trying to poke holes in it, so poke away, please. But like I said, it's always been a bugaboo, and hopefully we can figure out some solution with giving that Wrightstown community enough notice as to how they're gonna proceed, next year and years to come, because part of that equation also is with full-day kindergarten, we could possibly be adding another room to Wrightstown Elementary based on whatever numbers Cropper sees. So I would just like to get it, like you said, I guess, get it out there sooner rather than later.
Yeah, well, definitely, I'll take it back to Schrader and Dewey.
I mean, it's part of a whole
Sure.
gamut
Mm-hmm.
of, options, so.
I had not heard that before.
No, they may even be looking at that.
Yeah, Ms. Powell.
So, I know there'll be 2 big reports coming. Is it possible to have them sent to us before the meeting, before the presentation? So we have time to review and think about it?
For the proper report?
Primarily the master plan. Because I think that would be a lot of information there, a lot of options. So it'd be good to have a chance to review them before we actually talk about it.
Well, we can work that into the plan to have you get it ahead of time. I just, just as long as, making sure that if there's something unclear, that we're expecting them to make it clear in their presentation. That's, the only caveat.
Right.
Put in there.
No, I'm just.
I'm just saying, I'm worried that I'm not gonna understand it. I don't wanna.
Wouldn't be able to explain.
I wouldn't wanna,
I understand, and I would assume some of it will not be so clear, but
Yes,
it would be good to just have a chance to digest it a little bit, because it's gonna be a huge proposal of people or options.
but we are,
A few days to go through that.
but we have built-in time where you're going to get the information, they're gonna do their presentation, and then, there's a month between there where, you would talk about, and obviously you wanna talk about what you wanna talk about that first time, but even if we don't get, I guess my thought process is if you get it a week before and then some things change after they do their presentation, you have another month to think about it. So even if we end up having to extend it out into March, because you come to the February meeting with more questions, I would think that would be better than rushing it through just because, getting it done once everybody understands. I'm fully on board with what you're saying. I'm just saying, we don't want to rush it either, so we make sure that we have, exactly what this board's will is in that plan.
And so I think part of that is that we should not view the January meeting as the conclusion of the master planning process. It is a step.
It's actually step 1 for everybody at the table.
Yeah.
But it might make that meeting go a little better if,
Yes,
we- even a couple of days,
Oh, I think it's.
without asking any questions, knowing that we,
No questions allowed.
we are not
Until the meeting.
Mr. Haddad,
Sure. It's just gonna be public knowledge anyway. It doesn't matter if we get these and start sharing them with people and trying to get ideas from other people.
I would ask that you would do that in between the January and February meetings rather than from the time you get it till January, just because, as I said, I don't wanna have the plan looked down upon because
right.
something's not clear to us laymen.
So would we hold it confidential if we get it early before the meeting?
Please, we'd ask you if you could, please.
yeah, and I think what's in their initial report may come across differently in a presentation as opposed to a written report. So, you know, it's really important to have it in advance to digest it and do our homework, as Ms. Powell said. But really, we should withhold any judgments until we hear the presentation, have a chance to, and ask questions.
Yeah, I mean, withhold judgment, you can make your judgments. I'm just saying, if they say that we should build a school on the moon,
Let us explain why.
Why did you pick the moon and not Mars?
Questions?
Just on the same line, a lot of this was what I wanted to inquire about, but just in the effort of setting expectations, I'm happy to hear that this is the first part of effectively a dialogue, right? I'm also encouraged to hear that it does include a solution or a series of solutions for Wrightstown. I'm expecting it also does with Richboro Middle. I'm assuming it also touches on some of these other vacant or, let's say, unused lots that are within the district. And that are we expecting this to be a solution for all of these, or some have options that get plugged and played?
I think obviously, we want to present options. I would like to see maybe some, options and consequences.
Right.
Why one option might be better than another. But, if you do option, again, we've tried to do the flow charting, I'd like to see them do the same thing. So if you take option A, B, and D, the result is going to be X.
Right.
And these are going to be effects of that, overcrowding is taken care of in one area but you're sacrificing this in another area, and that kind of.
Because I understand, I'm glad you mentioned the flow chart that the administration was working on. Has that been shared with Schrader? This sort of, if this, then that, effectively
That's
flow
part
chart?
of what we're doing now. We're getting that together.
I understand that, but my question was the one that was previously worked on at some level. Has that been shared? Has that work been shared? Has there been information that this district?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? No? Okay, good.
Okay, the next slide is very exciting.
That's why you saved it for last, I know.
We have gas and boilers are started up at Richboro Elementary School. We did not need a temporary boiler. PECO completed the final gas connection on Wednesday, October 30th. We had the following Monday, and I don't remember what the date is, we had actual gas into the building. Boilers were actually started up last Friday. So we have heat in the building. The building is climate controlled. Doors are in and installed. Flooring is starting next week. So the additional cost of $44,039.35 is no longer required There's a very small cost for the work that the contractor did for, getting all the pricing and everything to us, very small cost. So we are on schedule, barring any kind of act of God or craziness. School will be open on January 2nd.
Congratulations.
Yay.
Have you walked through?
Yeah,
Sorry,
good job.
Have you walked through to see if everything's,
I was there today.
okay,
Yes,
just wanna make sure they're up and running, that's,
we are good.
okay.
Good luck.
Just wanna make sure that we're checking.
Yes,
I mean, that's fantastic news.
yeah, next,
I just wanna make sure
we're good, yes. The week of the 18th is startup and inspections. We're working on getting the inspections from the Board of Health for the kitchen. So we are moving along great. Everything is falling into place. Like I said, furniture starts the first week of December. So we're good.
Just a comment that I know it's a very exciting slide, and for those that haven't been following at home, I know it's one slide with 4 bullet points, but I have to commend both Ms. Binda and Mr. Rapp for, well, Jess, doing all of the work that, there was so much work behind getting this gas line installed. I mean, months of calling and following up and panicking and phone calls at 5 o'clock saying we might need temporary this and a hybrid that, and all of this discussion. So thank you.
It was a
Thank you.
huge team effort from the contractor, the whole.
Yes, Dewey as well, absolutely, yes.
Thank you.
I know you're.
I was gonna say, that Jess, to commend Jess for her work on that. If you look at last month's slide, Pico at that point had said they weren't even coming out until October.
Correct, correct.
So, to have it done on October 30th, that was a lot of persistence and, phone calls on Jess's part and getting that done early and saving the district that money. So, nice job, Jess.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, last slide, upcoming agenda items, again, just ongoing discussion with the facilities master plan, proper presentation, next Thursday. We have the district-wide landscaping RFP out now, and we also have the salt and de-icing bid out now. And then, we also will be discussing, what I don't have up there, is discussing the, summer 2025 projects.
Wonderful. Anyone? Comments? Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Very good. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Oh, we can get